What's going on, everybody? John Eric Polai here with my MMA news and the upcoming PFL playoff season right around the corner. Today's guest will be fighting on the first playoff show. That fight date is going to be August 4th. Joined today by Impa Kasanganay. Impa, thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate the time.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, John. Looking forward to it. It's an honor to be here.
Man, you're always welcome here. I'm really looking forward to today's conversation, especially just with your story coming into these playoffs here, because the road for you to get to this point, you could say, right, fairly could be a very difficult path for a lot of fighters. Going through what you went through took you two shots on the Contender Series to get the contract. Even though you got to win the first time you get into the UFC, you won two fights during your first UFC contract. You get cut. Then you got to go on the Challenger Series with the PFL. I mean, how did you manage in all that span to keep so mentally tough and keep grinding? A lot of people would have just given up at some point.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Look at it like I know whose I am and I know who I am. And I say like I'm Christian, so I know who God is and like my life, and I call me on a great path. And I know who I am. I'm a warrior, and I love what I get to do. So it was never like a time whether it was the first Contender Series fight, the second one, the debut in the UFC where I won, then the Buckley fight, then won my third fight, lost, cut, all that. Like I still knew who I am. Like I always know that I'd be a champion. I know that like this season I'll be champion. I've always believed and had faith in who I am and who I've been called to be. Like I never stress. I focus on my faith. Like the more stressful part for me was not having a fight. People not saying yes to a fight or not getting a fight, and then like being outside the UFC or now in PFL. Like it was just wanting to get back to that stage. But man, I stayed right to work. Like right to work. I never stopped. I kept going to it, and I think sometimes people like you have mental coaches and all this stuff, but like Coach Henry said it a lot. Sometimes the best mental coach is yourself, and like just what you're going through. When you figure it out, that's what helps you get stronger. So I focus on my faith and I focus on my training, and here we are today.
Yeah, here you are with the fantastic opportunity for these playoffs. Of course, as everybody knows with the PFL, $1 million payday down the line if you're to win the tournament here. One thing interesting with this tournament too, you fighting here at light heavyweight. Just talk about that move. I know that's something a little bit newer in the career. Just talk about that decision to make the move to that weight class.
Yeah, so a few months ago, man, I was like looking for a fight, and before the PFL, and I said I'll fight anybody, any weight class from either the lowest 170 and up, as long as I get that opportunity to be back in the major leagues. And I even called it out. I said, anybody just meet me at the gym or backyard and let's fight to fight. Doesn't matter if it's heavyweight, and it doesn't count unless the person gets submitted or knocked out. So, and I even offered my purses. I said, hey, like you beat me, I'll give you the rest of my purse. I don't finish you, you get my purse. To have guys step up to the plate, and some couple guys did, and then I got the PFL offer. So 205, I was like, okay, let's go. Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, light or small for the weight class didn't matter to me. It's like man to man, we're fighting. Let me show what I'm able to do. So now we are, man. I love it. I have many advantages. They cut much weight to be a great fighter. Go make yourself better. And PFL blessed with opportunity. God bless the opportunity to be in PFL. And man, it's been going well, and I look forward to continuing.
And you mentioned about being blessed to being in the PFL and enjoying the experiences. Obviously, was your first full season here
Yeah.
with the PFL. Just talk about that so far. How have you enjoyed the
Mhm.
experiences of being in it? Obviously, you fought in a few different promotions throughout your career. I know every promotion does things differently. So, how have you really enjoyed the way how PFL has, not only just treated you as a fighter, but the way they go about doing things in the business world too?
Yeah, PFL is super professional. What I love, you get to stay active. It's an organization that makes you stay active. Also get to earn it. Man, they've really welcomed me. Like this week, they're flying me out to Oklahoma City. I get to go be part of a photo shoot with Century, and I get to be part of a growing organization. As you've seen, PFL have made major moves from the signing of Francis Ngannou, Cedric Doumbé, PFL Brazil, PFL Africa, PFL. I'm very grateful to be a part of it. So it's cool that they're doing it in their own way. I think, the UFC, great for guys in the UFC and girls in the UFC as well, but it's also cool to be a part of an organization that's doing great in their own light. Man, like opportunity, right? Go get this, Clemens fight on August 4th, Clemens victory, and then I'll then go get the title, become a world champion at 29 years old. Like you said, like all that I've been through in my career, what a first moment, obviously to become a world champion. And then also too, like $1 million, like you change your life in a way financially where you can like really set yourself to change your life for the better. And I think PFL is really pushing it. And they really showcase their fighters, whether you have 10 followers or a million, they are all the more for just helping their fighters grow and seeing what they're doing. So I really like their developmental contracts they have for some guys. I like that they still do showcase fights. I got a show that in Vegas, right, even though it wasn't in the season yet. And there's always an opportunity to grow. And I really use this as my career as a fighter. So I'm grateful.
And there could be a lot more big things coming up on the horizon as these playoffs continue to pan out for you here. Let's talk about this matchup coming up here on August 4th in San Antonio. Training camp, of course, is underway right now. Just how's camp been going?
Man, camp's going well, challenging. I have great partners, one of my best friends, Aaron Jeffrey, fights in Bellator, in town. Man, getting to work with all these top fighters, all my guys, Linton Vassell, Victor, all these guys. Uh, the coaches are dialing in, helping me with the game plan for the fight, doing what we need to do. And man, it's Kill Cliff's a special place. It's a special gym. It's a special facility, and it's a place that challenges you to be better. And then also DK Fitness down in Miami with Coach Dieter. Man, he's been my guy for over a year now. It's cool to see us like capitalizing on moments, capitalize on these moments together. So I'm definitely prepared. I'm ready. Looking forward to claiming this victory. And it's like, it wouldn't be here if like, God didn't put these people in my life. So I'm at peace for sure.
And another thing, too, you had mentioned this earlier while we're on the topic of training camp. I wanted to bring this up. You mentioned one good thing that you like about the PFL is that it makes you stay active, but also one thing about being active, it's not like this is a 12-month thing, right? Season kind of starts April. It kind of if you're to win the whole thing, you get 4 fights in a pretty short period of time. How do you keep your body fresh that you're able to keep going in and out of the gym, performing at a high level on fight night, and just keep rinsing and repeating that way?
Yeah, so keeping body fresh, man, just staying sharp, man. Like getting like the cool thing about PFL, like the incentive is right. First 2 fights, you get finishers, you're in and out of the cage quicker, right? So like if you like for me, the first Challenger Series fight, my last fight finishes, so like I haven't had as much cage time. I had the fight before the my last fight, and like yeah, I had a full fight. But it's cool because man, like when you go earn it and you put yourself in that position, you're in and out. So like focusing on dominating the fight and putting myself in the best position to take the least amount of damage by dominating the fight or taking them out, like, getting them out of there, whether it's submission or a knockout, right? And I can create those moments, and I'll continue to. So it's like keeping me in the gym is actually what keeps me healthier. And then like I take my days. Like when I go to church, I'll go to the beach, recover, work on my mobility, eat well. Eat some good food too that I enjoy, keep my spirits high, and I focus on my spirit, man. Like it's like I'm on a warpath. I consider it as right. So I'm I'm not done probably until I'm like 41, 42, right? So I'm committed to fighting. I'm 29 now, and it's like all that I'm doing, keeping myself healthy, keeping myself like in a, where I'm living. It just focusing on my spirit. I know I'm ready to fight at any time, whether the fight's tomorrow, tonight, today, yesterday. It's like I live this lifestyle. So it's not like I'm taking time off to just recover so much. It's just part of my day to day so that like you're tuning up a car or tuning up a motorcycle. It's like you keep things together, then eventually you're always ready to go.
All right, man. Just one last fight-specific question before we start wrapping things up here today. So this matchup here, semifinals, your opponent, Martin Hamlet, he'll be the number 2 seed. You, of course, number 3 seed. Winner advances to the finals there. Just talk about this matchup a little bit, your thoughts on Martin as an opponent, and how you see things playing out on fight night.
For sure. Martin is an opponent, solid opponent, man. I'm grateful. I would say like uh it's cool when a man like comes to fight to put food on his family's table. And we met briefly. I know he's like had some experience. He trained at the gym I'm in now. Years ago, he's unorthodox shots here and there. Um, I don't like he's one of those guys I really respect that he's down to do it. Like his last fight, was kind of like a barn burner in a way, not like he was thrown down the entire time, but he was trying to stay in the fight the whole fight. So like, and then he even pushed when he was tired, which I really respect. And some guys don't do that. Some guys just kind of wilt and fold and go away, and that he showed he doesn't do that, right? So, or he didn't do that. And I've seen him fight, solid guys like Corey Hendricks and Sam Kai. Like he fought guys who were tough, and he kept kept coming. So I really respect him. Man, fight night, go dominate this fight, break him, move forward, claim his victory, and like I'll have my way. I'm gonna set the tone and do things on my own auspices and finish with my hands raised and go to the final, go claim that victory as well. I, I push the pace and really, really, really making it the fight the way I wanted it to go. So be my best fight yet, my most dominant.
All right, man. I just got one last thing here for the day before we wrap things up. I know you're a guy that likes to travel. This fight, of course, being in San Antonio, new location you haven't been to yet. How much are you looking forward to getting down to Texas? And I know you're there for a business trip, but maybe be able to sightsee just a little bit, right?
For sure. Yeah, I love that's one thing I love about fighting, traveling. It's cool you to travel the world and see different things while you're doing what you love. I love Texas. I love the countryside. I lived on a farm for a while. Man, go by the Riverwalk for sure. Get out by some water and meditate and pray. I love brisket, right? So get some good barbecue in Texas will be cool. Spend some time with great people. One of my clients and friends and family really was like blessed us enough for my team and I to have an Airbnb out there. So really just kind of enjoying what they want to do, right? Like the fight week's awesome too because like the coaches work so hard so they can see a new place too that maybe they haven't been to yet. So enjoy the time. I'll probably go find the countryside, go look at some cows and patiently wait for the fight to begin. Man, like, after for sure. I will. I don't really make too many plans after a fight, but I'm looking forward to getting out and see all that Texas has to offer. Definitely find some great brisket and maybe head out over to San Marcos too and see some of those like water holes and kayaking and things like that.
Awesome, man. Just last thing before the day, social media, so people know where to follow you at. You have any management or sponsorships, anything that you got to plug, take it away.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Noth. Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate that. Um, shoot. Let's see. Shout out to the PFL for setting this up. And my social media Instagram is ImpaK5. I can follow me on my adventures on Chulobo's Trek. And man, just, shout out my management, Dave Martin, them, Oren Hodak, KO Reps, all those guys, I'm just very, very grateful. And man, shoot, let's shout out to some sponsors that should sponsor me, right? Bose, shout me out. Come on, let's make a deal. I love your headphones. Thank you, Century, for bringing me out to Oklahoma City this weekend, working with y'all. And Harley Davidson, send me a motorcycle. Let's get that going. So that's what I like to hear. But that's about it. Thank you so much for having me on.